A couple of weeks ago, I made a video called Loyalty to Truth, where I explained what I consider to be an important life principle using the events related to Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri as an example. While I stand firmly by the words I said, I think because of the controversial nature of those events, the point I was trying to illustrate got a bit lost. The focal point of that video isn't Michael Brown good or bad, or Darren Wilson good or bad. Ferguson is just an example of what I see as a battle between two sides who care more about ideology and dogma than they do about actually discovering the truth. So I'm going to take another crack at explaining my point from that video, hopefully this time with more clarity. In my life experience, you have no more important relationship in your life than your relationship with truth and reason. You have no more important loyalty in your life than your loyalty to truth and reason. But what about my family, my friends, my religion, or life philosophy? Those relationships are important in the sense they might inspire you with a strong feeling of loyalty, but I counter by asking you this. If your family or friendships or other relationships aren't built upon truth and honesty, what are they? Hollow, meaningless, shams, bunk, joke, worthless, or any other entry on a list of numerous synonyms for illegitimate. If your religion or your life philosophy runs counter to fact, to truth, to reason, what is it? Nonsense. Ridiculous, poppycock, hogwash, bologna sandwich on a bullshit bun, or any other entry on a list of synonyms for absurd. So that's my point. We might think our relationships with family, with friends, with ideas are absolute and would never be abandoned, but in essence, it's actually that upon which those relationships are built that gives them such high value. They are built on an unwavering commitment to honesty and to truth and to reason. And those relationships do not ask us to go against honesty or truth or reason, at least on a regular basis. But they might, and they can. There can come a time when those important relationships in your life might come at odds with your sense of truth and reason, and may even tempt or demand that you abandon your loyalty to truth and to reason. And my contention in the previous video and in this one is that should not happen, and that you should abandon people or abandon ideas before you abandon your loyalty to truth or reason. Now, for some of you in the last video, that was a dish too cold for your taste, and I understand, believe me. I've abandoned both people and ideas, once dear to me, because they asked me to go against honesty and go against truth and go against reason repeatedly, and I couldn't, and I left. And I'm better for it now, but it wasn't appetizing at the time. So I do understand the resistance. Whew. All right, cool. So now with all that sincerity out of the way, with that principle in mind, this commentary will move on to the comedy. I saw a video the other day that perfectly illustrated the point I'm trying to discuss here in hilarious fashion. It's a recent paternity test on the Maury show. Now, if you're not familiar with the Maury show, maybe you're not from the United States, or maybe you haven't seen it before, it's a talk show with a popular bit featuring paternity tests. Some people have a dispute about who is or is not the father of some children. They come on Maury's show and they reveal the results of a DNA test in front of a live audience of hooting baboons. It's quintessential American entertainment, really. Now, I could do some kind of in-depth intro and explanation of this particular DNA test and why it's so amazingly awful and so amazingly hilarious, but there's really no need. The clip is going to do an amazing job of explaining itself, so behold.
Look at your little girl, look at your little boy. You love them, don't you?
Yes, I do.
But you don't think they're yours.
No.
Amanda says she didn't cheat on you.
That's what she says.
You believe her?
A part of me wants to believe her.
Is there any way this man is the father of these twins?
When it comes to 4-year-old Stormy James, you are not the father. When it comes to 4-year-old Jameson, James, you are not the father.
Now, I'm completely astounded by literally everyone depicted in that clip. The woman for trying to make her fiance believe he's the father of those obviously multiracial kids. The Maury show for even thinking that a DNA test was at all necessary given the circumstances. The list could go on for some time. But illustrating my point here, this poor sap, this poor guy, he's come into the exact type of situation I've described. The exact type of predicament about which I am warning. His fiancée, a woman whom I'm sure he loves and to whom I'm sure he feels a very fierce sense of loyalty, has asked him to live a life contrary to his sense of reason and contrary to truth. She's asked him to abandon those things as a gesture of loyalty toward her, and everyone's worse off for it in the end. Now, am I arguing that this man should have left his fiancée and alleged children on the spot? No. But I am saying it was incumbent upon him to confront her and to demand the truth as a condition for their relationship. And if she is unwilling to accommodate that demand, it is at that point that the relationship isn't worth a damn, and at that point, it deserves abandonment. There's no more important loyalty than your loyalty to truth and reason. The moment you start letting others convince you otherwise is the moment you end up on Maury's show to find out if two translucent white people can somehow produce multiracial offspring. I'm sure this guy means well, but don't be this guy. Demand truth, demand reason, make others follow. Your life will be better for it. Thanks as always for listening and for supporting this series. Comments below are always enjoyed, and I hope this Maury clip will make them particularly funny this time. Remember, you can also always catch me on Twitter as well at Skag_3. See you there. Okay, thanks, bye.